Hey guys, Katie here, and today I'm talking about two books. The first is Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami, and the second is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. These are both books I've wanted to read for a really long time, and to be honest, I was moderately blown away by both of them, in particular The Bell Jar, so it's been really hard for me to put into words how I felt about the books, but I am really excited to talk about them and to at least let you know if maybe you would be interested in them or not. Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami. This is the first Murakami that I've read, and I was really unsure about it for a while. I think I was kind of intrigued, and part of me really just wanted to enjoy it because it seems like everybody enjoys Murakami and BookTube. So I kept going even though I wasn't quite sure, and I reached a point in the book where I felt like I was solving a mystery, but there was no mystery, and that kind of pushed me forward. And then I realized there actually sort of was a mystery in this book, and that was sort of what it was all about. So it turned out to be a good experience for me. I will talk very quickly about this story. It's about a man, the narrator, who is in love with his friend Samir, and his friend Samir is in love with another woman, and it's kind of all about how the three of them are, you know, anyway, it's just about them. Like I said, I wasn't totally into this in the beginning, so I guess from my perspective it's kind of slow, but I really enjoyed the ending and kind of the climax of the book, and this has definitely got a little bit of magical realism in it, and at that point in the book when that really came out, because for a while it's not really there, I was so surprised and I was like, what book am I reading? This is so weird, but in the end I really did enjoy it. So what I would say is if you like literary fiction or magical realism, you'll enjoy this. Murakami is really good at writing, like, I would say really expressively, and I like how in some ways the narrator isn't really even involved in the story at all. I mean, he really is, but for a long time the story is not about him. It has nothing to do with him really, except that he knows Samir. I think I gave this 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. It's really interesting, and I would say after a while it's hard to put down, so that's definitely a good thing. On the other hand, like I said, the beginning's a little slow and I was a little bit bored at first, but if you have perseverance, you will get through and enjoy this book. Next, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I filmed a review of this last week that I hated so much that I basically scrapped the whole thing. I was really excited by this book, so I guess I can say right off the bat that I loved it. I really, really did. And I had a lot of feelings about it and a lot of emotions, and there are reasons, but when I sat down to talk about it, I found myself completely tongue-tied, and I think that's because the experience of reading the book was really kind of an intense one, and in the end, when I came out of it, I didn't know how to put it into words. If you don't know about The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, it's the story of Esther, a young woman who has like a magazine internship or something for the summer, and it sort of follows her as she kind of slowly unravels and falls into this depression and suicidal period in her life. And what I will say is, if you've experienced depression, you will relate to this book. Depression and anxiety, things like that, it runs in my family, so I've definitely dealt with it. And the first half of this book to me was like reading something about myself, or I think I updated Goodreads and said, you know, Sylvia Plath understands me. And that's really rare, especially in an older book. You know, people didn't talk about mental illness in the 50s, the 60s. That wasn't the way, and this book speaks very frankly about it. So if you have been through anything like depression, or if you have anxiety problems or social anxiety problems, anything like that, I think that you'll really appreciate this book for the way you'll be able to relate to it, but also kind of maybe see it from an outside perspective. I think that is who the book would most appeal to. If you haven't, maybe check it out. Maybe it'll give you an idea of where we're coming from, because I know for some people, and even for me, it's hard. It's really hard because I am the type of person who, I've been extremely depressed, but I've never been suicidal, and it's hard for me to grasp why someone would feel that way, but you definitely get the sense in here of why someone might feel that way, or how out of control they are of their own emotions, you know, everything. So I know that was kind of a vague review and it didn't really talk about the book at all. I did find the book to be really beautiful. I love Sylvia Plath's writing. I'm a big fan of her poetry, so I wasn't really surprised by that. And I liked how kind of seamlessly you go through her life. You know, at first it's just her day-to-day life, and then it kind of spreads out as she becomes more depressed and more suicidal, until it's almost like you're seeing snippets, and maybe that's the way that she's seeing her life. I felt like I was experiencing it all. It really sucks you in. So I really loved this. It was pretty incredible, and it's a great classic. Check it out if you're interested. And also Sputnik Sweetheart. I have to say, one more thing about this, I kind of felt a little bit intimidated by Murakami, and I see now that I didn't need to be, maybe with his bigger books, but this was really easy for me to read. I didn't really struggle with it. I enjoyed it, and don't be afraid of Murakami. You too can read Murakami. That's all I have for you. I hope you'll check these books out if you're interested. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.